Yo, Whiskey Runner 1 here, and I am co-hosted by the ugly young Miss Whiskey. How you doing, Miss Whiskey?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, yeah, I think we decided that we're gonna kind of do a show about crypto here because there's a lot of people that we know that aren't really educated in what's going on, and now is a great time to get in and make some money. Um, I got a hunch that this is the future of where currency is going to be going. Um, like the screen says, though, at the bottom, this isn't financial advice. What do you think, Miss Whiskey?
I think that crypto really is where things are going in the future. Especially a couple of the coins that we have picked out for today.
Hmm. Well, there you guys have it. There's our predictions. Um, we can. So what we're going to be covering is it's altcoin season. It's open season on altcoins here. So the focus of this is basically going to be altcoins. Um, the Ethereums and the Bitcoins, they do what they do. It's uh, I don't know. It's a good investment. It's very safe. The returns are very average at this point, I would say. Unless you're very strongly invested in those things, in which case that is extremely risky. Um, I've always been told not to invest more than I can afford to lose. And if you dump your entire life savings into Bitcoin and something better comes along, you could be down, and it could be
It's gonna
dangerous.
suck.
Whereas if you play the opposite game and you invest in these smaller projects that are up and coming, and there's not a lot of risk involved. The risk is that you're getting rug pulled, right? Um, and if that's the case, this is why we only invest small amounts of money into these things.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening, Darkin? So we're doing a little stream here. This is hopefully going to become something that we do often. We're talking about altcoins today. I'm going to talk a little bit about uh, the blockchain, what it is, what problems it solves. Uh, we're going to talk about four smaller projects that me and Miss Whiskey are kind of digging right now. And yeah, we're going to talk about some new IPOs. We're going to talk about what's hot, what's not. Um, and of course,
That's scary.
Miss Whiskey is going to bring some food to the table, literally. So, I know exactly who this is. Medicare is boring now. See, I told Miss Whiskey that that was going to become a giant factor in how many people we had watching the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, it's good to see you popped on by, man. Appreciate that. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about some small projects that are just starting up that everybody can afford to get into. And when I say this, I mean you can afford to get into it, and it will make you feel the returns will make you feel good. Um, well, I got into crypto from the whole Dogecoin thing. Uh, Back when it took off, I bought Dogecoin at 3 cents, and I sold at 51. So I made quite a bit on that. That that did me pretty well. That got me sitting in a position where I felt more comfortable about the crypto space. Miss Whiskey, where did you get your crypto start at?
With Litecoin back in 2017, I
Okay.
invested a little bit and then somebody sent me some. And I sat on it and did nothing with it.
Mm.
For years.
And it's matured pretty nice, especially as of late, right? I mean, we've
Hmm.
definitely seen the price of Litecoin go up substantially. I think it's probably went up $50 since the the whole market crashed about a month and a half ago, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
So
going strong lately.
that's definitely a really good thing. Um, a couple of other things that we're going to talk about are some of the NFT projects that I found recently that are real intriguing to me, and one of them is going to be a bombshell. Okay, Darkin, an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's basically a way to hold the place of something that is valuable. So it's not actual currency, but it's still worth a denominal amount of money. So it can essentially be a placeholder for money, but it's not money. So, and that's what you're seeing. This NFT craze. It's cards, it's pictures, it's things like that. Those things hold a place for value. The problem with it is the value is determined by what the supply and demand is, and what the buyer is willing to pay. Right. So at any time, that whole thing could come crashing down. I think personally that NFTs are extremely risky, and I don't get involved with them. In the project that I'm going to highlight at the end of the show today, we're going to talk about an NFT opportunity that I had a chance to get into with them, and that I declined just because of the risk alone. So, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that shortly. So, first, everybody's question, is what the hell is a blockchain? And a blockchain is basically just a distributed ledger. So, like we used to have checkbooks back in the day, and you would have a little book below the checkbook, and it would be for the transactions in organized order, so you could keep track of how much money you actually had in your bank. Before we had cell phones and online banking, this is how we kept track of our current amount of money. So basically, the blockchain is just a ledger that's distributed freely. Everybody has a copy of this ledger and what's happening on it. In this ledger, there's blocks. Uh, it, the ledger is basically spread out amongst the network of computers as we know the internet. So if you can imagine, just every peer, every person that has something to do with this has a copy of this ledger. They know what transactions are happening and what transactions did happen. So we get these blocks, and these blocks have three things on them. The first thing is data. If we're talking about a transaction, it would be where the money's coming from, where the money's going to, and the amount, right? That would be the data on a transaction block. If we were talking about a block for voting, it would be all the qualifications for voting, right? The user data would be, is the voter old enough to vote? Is the voter a citizen, legal citizen of said country that they're voting in? Is questionable voter a felon and a convicted felon? Those would be the user data things inside the block if we're talking about voting. Now, this is the reason why the blockchain is good, right? Because the blockchain is not just useful for transactions. It's useful for keeping any data on that you don't want tampered with. And I'll explain the tampering here in a minute. The other two things that are on these blocks is the current hash, or the fingerprint of the block. And if you change the data inside the block, you change the fingerprint, which makes the fingerprint no longer valid. It's not the right fingerprint. The other thing on the block is the fingerprint of the previous block before it. So you can't modify anything. You can't change anything, and you cannot backdate blocks to try and change how the network used to be to change the block back up, the blocks back up the line. So in this network, there are validators. These are the people that hold the ledgers. And when a transaction goes through, it is checked by all of these validators. If it doesn't pass, then it's rejected. If the hash doesn't match, if the user data doesn't match, and if the previous hash doesn't match, if any one of those things doesn't match, the block's rejected. So, and all of the validators on the block, they have to agree, or in the network, they have to agree that that block is correct. If any one of them doesn't, then the block is rejected. So
where does the block go when it's rejected?
Into a trash can, into a figurative trash can. It's just gone.
Okay.
So the only way to be able to tamper with things on the blockchain, you would literally have to change the block that you're working on and every block before it. And you would also have to obtain 51% control of all of the nodes in the network. The computers that verify these transactions. So it would be impossible basically to do that. Because the nodes are spread out, obviously, so far it's beyond physical control. As of yesterday, the Bitcoin network had 12,331 validators across the world. There's no physical way that anybody could obtain control of 50% of them to change the block. So the other thing is, though, what promotes these people to be these validators is they're paid to process these transactions. There's gas fees and transaction fees that go along with every one of these transactions that's made. And the people, the nodes, or the people that approve the transactions, or the miners as they're called, they take those fees. They build these computers, and they build them with as many video cards as they can, so that they can try to process these mathematical equations as fast as possible. Because the fastest computer to process the equation gets the fees to mine the transaction, to mine the block. So that's kind of a rundown of the blockchain. And you can see how it would be beneficial to use this in things like, verification of credentials, because it can't be tampered with. Also, it's completely decentralized. So nobody has control of it. No one person has control of this, which makes it, once again, even harder to tamper with. There can't be an entity that decides, I don't want this to happen here. There's no censorship. So this is why blockchains are good. If you believe in stolen elections, you should want a blockchain more than anything. And if you tamper with elections, you should fear blockchains. If there was any voting fraud ever, and this system was used, there wouldn't have been. All right, so we got 4 projects that we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
2 of these projects were picked up by Miss Whiskey. Miss Whiskey, you want to give us kind of a just introduce the projects? Let's not go into it real far, but you'll give an introduction to yours, and I'll give an introduction to mine, and then we'll move on to something else, and we'll go into these things in detail here in just a little bit.
Okay. My projects are SHIB coin, or the Shiba Inu coin, and Bolt. Bolt has 2 apps. One is a financial wallet, so that's Bolt X, and then they have Bolt Plus, which is TV and radio streaming.
Okay. What's the SHIB about?
It's the meme coin.
It's a meme coin. Okay. Okay. Good answer. All right. The 2 that I picked were the first one is Veracity. This coin's been, as you can see on the graph, just kind of steadily making real good progress here. This is a project that I believe in deeply. These folks are kind of associated with broadcasting media. They've developed some patents of some things, and we'll go into that later. But they're working on changing the way media is viewed and kind of spread out. DAPPT is a website and kind of an entity that is building apps on the blockchain. They're working on their apps. They're also advertising for other apps. It's kind of a place where you go just to find out what's new on the blockchain, and it will point out new projects and things like that. So we'll go through all that here in a bit too. I wanted to show a place where you can go to find where all of the new coins are getting listed. If you go over on Kucoin, that's where you're honestly going to get a lot of the smaller projects listed. You won't see a lot of the smaller projects listed over on Coinbase. Coinbase is a great place to get started. I think, but people outgrow it kind of quick, just because they don't allow you to take as much risk. Miss Whiskey, what was your experience with Coinbase? How did you feel? Because you just recently
Um,
kind of ventured out.
I liked Coinbase, but they kind of the slow rate at which coins are added to their exchange is kind of like they're holding your hand. And Kucoin and other exchanges, you can get into, like you said, riskier little projects.
I've also noticed that Coinbase can be more expensive for the same
Yeah.
coin in a different place. Have you noticed that?
hmm And it's not always as up to date. Like, it doesn't keep up like other
Yeah, their
apps
their
do.
their little kitty charts aren't
hmm
aren't as up to date as everybody else's. You're right. So I do still use Coinbase. I can't talk bad about them. They do have still. I have some assets still sitting with them. Um,
hmm
they do offer great things, and it's a great place to get started. They'll actually pay you in
Oh yeah,
cryptocurrency to learn over there.
that's super cool.
Um, you got a story about that, don't you, Miss Whiskey?
I mean, that's how I made $44 from all of the lessons,
So
and
yeah,
that's kind of where my start came from.
so she started out with a very very small amount of fiat currency in the account and was able to take the lessons and get the currency that the lessons provided, and then either keep it or convert it to a different currency and be able to
Hmm.
make more money that way. So really her initial investment is so low compared to what is the assets that she has now, and it was, most of it wasn't her money. It's a great way to get started.
Hmm.
It's also a great way
Definitely a great way
to
to get
get
started.
yeah. It's also a good way to get your money from your bank account into some sort of wallet. Um, that can be confusing to people. Just the sound of that can be scary. What do you mean I got to put my money into an internet wallet? Well, it's not really as scary as it sounds. It's actually relatively easy. Um, I think on the next show I will go through a purchase onto Coinbase. I'll buy some cryptocurrency on Coinbase, and I will transfer it over to Kucoin. I will sell it there, and I will buy a different currency with that money just to kind of go through the motions so that people will understand how the exchange works. So over at Kucoin,
Mm.
they list what they're going to be putting up and what they have put up recently. If you just actually Google KuCoin and new listings, it will bring you to this page. Something that happens with these new listings, if you watch, is they get put on at a certain time, and then the retail buyers come in like sharks, and they push this thing way up. And when it goes up, if you got into it right when it listed, you can watch this thing go up, and then you can jump out of it and take your profit. Now, be warned that it's going to come back down, um, inevitably, and it's usually overnight when you're sleeping.
Hmm.
So what you typically do is ride these things up till you can't watch it no more, and then you get out and you take your profit. And sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes this might run up for 2 days, but you know what? A day's worth of profit is a day's worth of profit. So there's a lot of strategy in this. That's a very scalping strategy. But there's some things out there that's the way it's played. So besides the IPOs, you can also go over to KuCoin and kind of check out the what's hot and what's not stuff here. So if we go over to KuCoin.com and click markets, it will bring us to this page. We can click the 24-hour change button, and it will list them all from highest to lowest. Interesting that Cody is up 20%. That's good. But we can see here, this is KuCoin's specific. This is the plus stuff. I do believe this is the stuff that you can soft stake with them, and we'll also talk about staking at another time. But it is a good way to make additional, just passive income. Is just to put your money in a staking pool and let it sit there and accumulate more. But besides the KuCoin Plus stuff, theirs isn't always the highest running of the numbers. If you get out of there and just run to the main market here, we can see that some stuff is up 78% today. But I was in coins yesterday that were up over 220%. So this is actually very low, but it is a Sunday night. So we're not going to see a ton of volume coming in on a Sunday night. But this is where you would go to see the highs. You could also, switch this over to the 24-hour change, and it would show you the same thing, but just on the lower end of things. Doesn't look like there's really too much crazy action going down on the KuCoin Plus side of things. On the main market, we have MSwap is down by 25%. Mm. You'll see the SCLP here that is down 18%. That's the one that ran up over 220% yesterday. So I would expect nothing less that it comes down at least 20%. All right. Well, I think we've come to a good stopping point here to kind of take a break and let everybody just sit back and sip their beer for a minute, smoke one if you got it. And I think Miss Whiskey is gonna tell us about some food stuff she's got going on.
So I guess for in honor of fall, you want a warm snack? Just load up some fries or some tater tots with gravy, cheese, and homemade chili. The
Mm,
possibilities are endless, depending on your preferences.
that sounds like
If it's
just amazing fall food. Any way you look at it,
nice and warm. I'll
always
have
warm.
warm snacks in the fall.
Yeah, tots retain the heat too, so
Mm-hmm.
your belly be warm for a while after eating that. Oh, I guess I know what I'm having next time. Next time I visit.
That's all I got for the first snack thing, and then the second snack thing we have for later.
Mm, all right. Did you have anything to throw in there, honey, about either the IPOs or the winners and losers?
I don't know what IPOs stands. I don't know what that stands for. What does
That's
it
just
mean?
that's just the new listings.
Oh, okay. Um, Maybe next week if it's doing well, I'll talk about beef, but I don't have anything to add.
Okay. All right. So we kind of spent a little bit of time talking about what you do to get in there. So Coinbase has a very very friendly interface to connect with your bank account, and you can just write through a debit card or credit card too. You just transfer, a little bit of fiat in, a little bit of regular currency in. Start with $20 or $50. I don't know how low Coinbase will let you go, but I do believe it's as low as like $5.
I think the minimum you can deposit is either a dollar or $1.49. I started like really, really low, like
Okay,
$2 or $5.
yeah. So I mean, you could start with a couple of bucks and just transfer a couple of dollars in. It's not risky at all. Coinbase is listed on the, in the stock market. They're a very reputable company. They are not a decentralized exchange. They are what they call a centralized exchange, and are apparently backed by every single dollar that they have in cryptocurrency in an actual dollar. So there is no risk with Coinbase. Coinbase has made documented mistakes in the past, and they've rewarded people kindly for those mistakes. So you can only wish that something goes wrong with your Coinbase account, because they are going to fully back whatever it is that happens. Um, what you the way that I transfer money over, and also because transferring money from my fiat account to Coinbase is the least expensive way to get my money into a crypto wallet. Their fees are lower than it is an option to just transfer money from your fiat account into Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they use a third party called Banksa, which is a lot less trustworthy than Coinbase. Um, they also take 5%, where I do believe Coinbase takes 2.25% or something. And to transfer your money from Coinbase to Kucoin, it's basically free. I mean, it is a couple cents to have that transaction. So I've always just transferred from my bank account to Coinbase because it's safer, and then bought a cryptocurrency that is cheap to transfer between Coinbase and Kucoin, and transferred that uh, currency over. Once I get things to Kucoin, I sell it and get my money back in USDT, which is the stable coin that basically represents most of cryptocurrency right now. It's what you can buy other cryptocurrencies with. And so then I use when I obtain the stable coin, and then I buy whatever I'm trying to buy with the stable coin. To make things even more confusing, and the hot project of the night actually requires this. It is over on a decentralized exchange called Hotbit. So it would be the same thing. You would buy cryptocurrency over on Coinbase, and you would exchange it for the cryptocurrency that we use is Algorand. That cryptocurrency, it seems to cost like a tenth or a hundredth of a cent most of the time to send it around for a transaction fee. So it is very, very cheap to send around. And then once you get it over to Hotbit, you sell the Algorand for US Tether, and then you use the US Tether to buy the project that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Okay. Did you want to get deeper into the SHIB, and then I'll go ahead and take a shot at the Veracity?
Okay. Well, SHIB was created a year and 2 months ago. We've seen a 4.5 million% growth in that time, which has created a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt amongst the professional and unprofessional investing communities alike.
FUD, as they say. I said
Yes.
the FUD, as they say. So wait, how many million times did you say it's increased since its conception? How long ago?
A year and 2 months ago, in August of 2020,
Okay, so
4.5 million% growth.
wow, a year and 2 months, and this thing. So it's literally made billionaires. Okay, and let's get this straight. It's just a meme coin. It doesn't really, at this point, have any functional use, right?
Except for on SHIB swap, which apparently the gas fees are so crazy you can't really do anything with it. So I think that for now, until some of the things are worked out, it is just a meme token.
And I heard they're working on
symbol.
engineering their own blockchain. Did you hear something about that?
I heard something about that, but I don't know. That might take them a while. They should create that soon.
Okay. I got a friend that is pretty heavily invested into the SHIB, and he made 12 grand last week. So, yeah, it's as much of a meme as it is. It's not. Ain't nobody laughing. except for the people that bought it and got a lot of money out of it. All right. What else do we got?
Let's see. I say, in my opinion, that SHIB, the coin, is very much like a puppy, especially in its chart behavior. Sometimes it naps, sometimes it bounces, and so on.
Mm.
And
D-
it's an altcoin, and it's very risky, so be careful investing. Only invest what you can afford to lose.
did
It's
did
totally not
you
financial advice.
did you have the quote about the poor boy?
I thought about it, but I figured saying that I encourage everybody to go check out his rules would be a little bit more fun.
Okay,
See if people do their homework.
gotcha. That's a good call. All right, so is there anything else?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
Okay.
Not for Sheeb.
All right. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and visit their Twitter for a second here?
Okay.
Um, if you guys are interested in SHIB, SHIB token is the verified Twitter. This is where you will find all of their business. They are currently doing a burn, so they're trying to get rid of tokens. The idea behind that is if the tokens are more scarce, they'll be worth more money.
Woo.
You can see here they're trying to promote their SHIB swap. They're now partnering with other coins, we can see. Uh, and I think there was a little bit of a controversy here. Um, I heard that um, was it
People were kind of on them
coin
because of
coin
numbers
market
showing up
cap? Yeah,
differently.
somebody's got some numbers wrong, and it's the entities that are supposed to be monitoring these coins and giving us the right numbers. So I heard that coin market cap and Coinbase all have the market caps and um, the coin caps completely wrong.
Wrong.
And even they do, it still ends up with the right price at the end because what they've got is basically scaled correctly. It's 1.5 times, but they times everything by 1.5 times, so it's still right. They still get the right number at the end, but it's introducing fear and uncertainty into the market. So they would have more people buying if the people could the people that are actually reading market caps and things like that um, are paying attention. So
Mm-hmm.
they're looking for those those sales yet too. Once they get those entities to be able to change what they're currently telling people. So that could mean a lot for SHIB. Um, I've seen several people, say that they're looking for another bull run on SHIB in the next 15 days, which could be completely possible. It could also be possible that it, takes a nosedive and doesn't do shit, but I don't see that happening. The project that I picked is Veracity. Veracity, they have a lot going on. So one of the first things that they have going on here is they have their proof of view technology and stuff like that. But they want to reward people for watching content. That's one thing that's huge, right? So they've already partnered with people like YouTube and Twitch, and they put Veracity content up. They put a lot of esports, um, video game, uh, excuse me, video game matches up and things like that. And they reward you for watching these things. They'll actually pay you in their cryptocurrency to watch stuff. It's a great way to earn a little bit of extra cryptocurrency. It's a lot like Coinbase's incentive with paying you to learn. They call it watch and earn over here. This is one of the reasons that I am a strong supporter of this currency. I have this currency. Once again, it's not a recommendation to go out and buy it. I just think that these folks have a lot to offer. So we're talking about the proof of view. They actually have this patented in the U.S. already, and the patent for the Europe application has already went in. So they're on about, I think, their last phase of getting it approved in Europe, and then it will just be their pretty much worldwide patent. So this is a big deal. Once again, this stuff is very very low yet. If a person can still get into Veracity for, we're talking about less than 9 cents a token here, because it hasn't blown up yet. You can see the SHIB. Excuse me. You can see the SHIB is let's see, 1 cent, tenth, hundredth. We're still in the 6,000th of a cent. All these projects are that we're going to talk about today are extremely affordable. Basically, a bum could afford to buy these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, Veracity has a lot going for them. So the proof of view stuff. Basically, what that does is it stops fake views. You can't buy views anymore once this algorithm comes in. It basically comes in and trashes all that. So and it's good for everybody. It's good for the advertisers. It's good for the content creator, and it's good for the people using the content. You can go read their white paper and do your due diligence. But this is a highly recommended project by me. If to go take a peek at least, go see if it's something that fits what you're into. I would assume that if you're into YouTube sort of things, we can stop the Alphabet Corporation from controlling everything that we see. So that's that on the Veracity. We were going to, I think, give a little PSA. So, by the way, folks, what you're looking at here is a little collage of all of the things that Miss Whiskey is responsible for. She does a great job. And I hope all of your mouths are watering as you stare at this, because this is what I get to eat. And I'm an asshole. Alright, so we were going to give a PSA on trick-or-treating and inspecting your children's candy. Because you never
Yeah,
know
you never know what's gonna be inside those candies.
what's going to find in them candy bars. Alright, everybody. Sip a beer, sip a whiskey, whatever you're sipping on, sip it. Let's have a smoke. Now's a good time to have a smoke. And just kind of soak it in. I know it's a lot.
Oh my, how did that spaceship get in there?
time, Miss Whiskey, we'll have to get some background music, a little elevator music playing behind us.
Uh huh. Oh yeah.
I like the Reese's in the 6-shooter. That's nice. Good, nice touch.
It's absolutely incredible. Better watch it. There might be some NFTs in those Snicker bars.
We've been trying to reach you regarding your car's extended warranty. I already hate those coconut fucking candy bars anyway, so a little note in there would really piss me off.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, what do we do here now? Hang
I
on
know
just
the
a second,
Bitcoin
folks.
chart.
Yeah, I decided to. There we are. All right, so we got the other two projects to talk about. Did you want to go with your bolt first?
I think you should go first.
Okay. All right. I will take the DAPPT first. All right. So this is DAPPT.com. Of course, DAPPT has DAPPT.com. That's a huge help, right? That is a major help. So we don't have to sit here and guess their address, and everybody's going to go to DAPPT.com first. Here you're going to see new projects to like play to earn games. You can earn cryptocurrency playing these games. And I mean, you kind of got to look at what you're earning. But you know, the stuff can be traded back to fiat currency is the thing. So that's what we do here, right? The the point is, folks, what we want to do is we want to look at these lists and we want to go to the projects that are in the red today. And there's a lot of projects to choose from. And we want to find the ones that are real red today, right? Like this layer project. And then we want to go do our due diligence on the project. And let me fast forward that a little bit here. Layer, layer, layer. Where are you, layer? Alright, so the business on layer is that it is Unilayer is the full name, and it is a multi-chain decentralized trading platform built on top of Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Heco, and DOT that enables key features for professional level trading with its layer utility token, focusing on automated swaps and liquidity management, flash staking, charts, and analytics, live order books, and a lot more. So, folks, what we would do is we would take that description and we would Google some of those things, and we would say, do those blockchains need those things? It's a yay or a nay, right? You just do a little bit of due diligence. Do those blockchains have problems with those specific things? Do they have problems with automated swaps and liquidity management and flash staking? Can you do even flash staking? You know, look at the chains that it's associated with. Are those chains popular? Is Ethereum a popular chain? Is Binance Smart Chain a popular chain? Is Polkadot a popular chain? These are all very, very popular chains. This would probably be a very safe thing to get into when it's 23.13% down. We would buy into this position today. We will wait till tomorrow at the same time. Well, I guess not necessarily wait. We'll watch until tomorrow at about the same time. If it's already showing major profits, then we'll take them whenever we see them. And we'll wait. We might wait another till it might take us several days though. It might take another week. But it's inevitable that something like this is probably going to go back up when it's 23% down. So at some point in time, I'm going to take profit on that position. And what I'm going to do is, when I take my profit, I'm going to 3/4 out of it, and I'm going to leave 1/4 as runners. So I have a position that stays there. That way, if I've already taken my 3/4 profit and I'm happy, I've made money at this point in time, and I still get to keep something at stake. If it continues to run, I continue to take more profits. We sell it when it does stuff like what we're looking at the top of this thing. I mean, yesterday that position had probably hit 100 and something percent green. You know, when it looks like this, we take profits. And you play these positions back and forth, back and forth. That's why it's important to look at, let's look at what's in the red. That's what we want to buy. But do your research, obviously. At least Google the coin and make sure that day they didn't get hacked and, everybody sold because of fear. So that's a big thing though with the DAPPT thing is they've had that. They've had those days where they went way up and then they came way down. Today I've seen they were back up about 18%. So they're recovering from their dip after their initial run. But this is very, very promising. If you're looking for new games coming out in the blockchain, this is the best list I've found so far to get into these games. And, if you like, Axie Infinity is huge right now. So you can click on this project. You can go to the website. You can see what Axie Infinity is all about. I do believe this is like a Pokemon style battle game. I haven't played much, but last time I checked, their coins were worth $141 a piece. If you got into this early, you're up major right now. I do believe that their token is AXS. So we'll just go ahead and find that in the list here. I think I can search right here. AXS. Oh, this is the Bitcoin pairs. AXS right here. Okay, folks, we're just going to look at what it was like. Okay, let's look at the 1 day. The daily. Okay, so it looks like we got listed here right around the $20 mark. It looks like $18 or something. And then it dropped out, like I said. These things list, they run up, and then they run down for the next couple of days. That's what always happens. So somebody got in here at $14.20. Today this sits at $137.54. A game. Who would have guessed? Well, every fucking buddy, that's who. We're talking about this came out on Kucoin, listed on Kucoin on the 17th of August for $20. Here we are in the beginning of November, and we're at 137, and we've seen as high as 165. Can you imagine if you bought, I don't know, 20 shares at $20, 20 coins at $20. Now you're sitting on 20 coins at 137. Yeah, you're probably a pretty happy person.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, DAPPT, that's where you go to find all this stuff. They will list everything that you need. As a matter of fact, go buy some DAPPT. If you're looking for the ticker on that, it's DAAPT. Let me bring the. You're looking right here on the upper left. We're still at a fourth of a cent. For $20, you can make a hell of an investment. And this is already pushed up as high as, we'll say, 1.2 cents if I'm taking a guess at where, to scale, it's at right in the graph there, because I can't interact with the thing right now. Actually, maybe I can. Let's see. Oh, maybe it'll let me. E. Alright, so, yeah. 1.2 cents is as high as it's seen. I mean, that gap is 0.006. That's a large gap. 0.008. Yeah, that's a large gap. So, and like I said, they're up 18% today. You can see here that green candle. That's where we're at. The red one that is starting now has just started to bring down a little bit, but I bet it's going to push back up. As a matter of fact, that green candle that we're looking at right before is very bullish because you can see the wick on the top. The wick on the top is where it pushed to, but then it came back down, and the next 8 hours started at the current candle that we're in, which is the red one, which is went down just a hair. Very good project. Another thing is, this project, it works. It's functional. It has a working website. The website is not screwed up. It's operational. It looks very, very clean and very, very nice. They'll also give you signals on the right-hand side of the screen, if you can see here. Bullish signal, 1 inch. This is basically saying the 1 inch token had a massive transfer. So it looks like it might take off soon. These signals are not something definitive that you should place buys on, but it does give you the opportunity to say, okay, well, what is a 1 inch? What is a sushi token? You know, go look things up. Go figure it out. And you will learn a ton about this, and you'll find new projects and things that you might want to invest in that are going to make you some money. All right, Miss Whiskey, did you want to talk about Bolt a little bit?
For sure. Bolt is pretty cool. I mean, their coin has been fluctuating a good bit in terms of its value.
Let's see what it's currently sitting at right now.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Hang on, I gotta.
They have 2 parts to their entire platform. They've got a live streaming platform, which is Bolt Plus, and then Bolt X is their financial engine, and they've got a wallet there, and you can't really exchange for many currencies yet on it, but I guess they're working on it. Their streaming app seems to be a lot more
finished than their financial engine and wallet.
A little more polished and
What?
functional.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got coming soon on a couple things on the Bolt X app, and it's in its infancy.
Mm. Okay, so how do you feel about the prospects of Bolt? You think it's got a lot of potential?
If they can clean up the financial engine side of things, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because their live streaming platform is pretty cool. Uh, Lots of sports stuff.
Well, let's talk.
Some other
Let's talk
things.
about the functional part of it, because I think that's kind of a big deal. So, what do they offer over there on the functional part exactly?
They offer some radio streaming as well as like live streaming, and I think that they've got gamers, sports. There was like a fashion channel or two, Red Bull TV, um, a couple of other niche things, and my guess is that they're going to try and partner with more like internet live streamers over time, but I have no idea. I didn't
Okay, so it
look
looks like on the
at
website they're saying 400 live channels, and they're showing you some of the networks that they actually have included. That looks pretty. Uh, Miss Whiskey, how much did you say this service costs a month?
I downloaded the app for free.
Oh, it's free.
As
Oh, so
far as I'm aware.
they're offering 400 live television channels for free. So I could download this app right now on my phone, and I
Mhm.
could just watch these
Watch
channels.
stuff. Yep.
Really,
Yep.
that's very interesting, especially with some of
They've
the
got
channels I'm seeing here. I mean, these aren't necessarily small networks.
they've got lots of channels. They've got soccer. Lots of soccer.
Mm.
Uh, there was a channel called Wine-O where women seem to talk about wine a lot.
That's very interesting. That would be worth just turning on to stream to talk shit about.
Exactly.
Mm. Making streams off of streams. Well, gotta like that.
Of course.
All right. So what else are they promoting here? Looks like unique singular merchandise. I don't know exactly what they're getting into there, but it looks like maybe they're gonna
I think they
sell.
have an NFT marketplace.
Mm, okay, that's interesting.
I think.
Okay, so they're pros here. Speed and agility beats size. Flexibility is the name of the game at Bolt. We evolve and implement changes quickly to create a preferred ecosystem for users, streamers, and brands. Make everyone successful. We must continually invest in success of our users, streamers, and brands. Decentralized, democratize, and creativity. The power of our ecosystems, ideas, and energy will transform Bolt from a platform into a movement of actionable creativity. Okay, so one thing that I see here, which people, when you're doing your research and your due diligence, when the entire team is willing to dox themselves on the website, and they have things like links to their LinkedIn, you should probably take that project pretty seriously because those people are willing to actually come out of anonymity to tell you who they are in case they have to take the rap for the fall if something bad happens here. So, because, this is real life
Mhm.
and people get killed and shit over, losing people's entire fucking life savings when they
Yep.
just, throw the kitchen sink at these fucking things as an investment because they are stupid and don't know how to only wager what you can afford to lose. I don't know how much I can stress that, folks. Only wager what you can afford to lose. You would be appalled at the gains that you get from such a small investment as $20. Be very careful out there. So yeah, the whole team has doxed themselves here. Even people who are just associated. So this looks like an extremely good project to me. And I would strongly urge folks to go ahead and download the Bolt Plus app on your phone and just check out the channels. We ran this thing for a test drive last weekend, and how'd it work out, Miss Whiskey?
I think it worked pretty great.
I think it worked pretty damn great too. I didn't have a single complaint about it. The
It's
streaming was
very
good.
user friendly,
It was
very
clear.
sharp.
Yep, it was very sharp. Exactly. It was user friendly. There was no guessing. The interface was very intuitive. Um, yeah, it just worked really, really well. Um, did you have more to say, Miss Whiskey, about that?
I guess I hope that they work a little bit more on the Bolt X app because that was I tried to like transfer some funds over and it said that the wallet was like unavailable or something or didn't exist or invalid. I think it said invalid. It also was showing like 3,500 Bolt for the fee. Like, wait a minute, what? So hopefully they
Mm,
get that figured out and um, they get their gas fees kind of figured out,
yeah,
because that would be crazy
that's pretty
high.
damn steep. You're right. That's pretty
Hmm.
steep.
So,
All
you know,
right. I did do some looking at platforms and things like that. It looks like this is available on Android and Apple. Is that correct?
yes, but it doesn't have to be Apple with a different kind of processor.
Yeah, I think it can only be Apple with an Apple processor. It doesn't work on Apple machines with an Intel processor. And it
Mm.
also, there is no platform for PC at this point in time. So give these folks a break. They're still in development, and we should be happy that they
They're doing a
have,
great job.
two platforms that have 400 live television
Go
stations on them.
Android.
So, and
Yeah.
once again, folks, they're making these things to you free of cost. So, if maybe at some point in time, if there's a fight that's not televised that you want to see, a game, something like that, you may want to give this a check and just see if, hey, is it available on Bolt for free? All right, well that wraps up the four projects I think that we had for headlining this week.
Hmm.
There was a couple of other things I just wanted to uh, briefly mention. It was the NFT stuff that's going on this week.
Hmm.
So in DAPP, I did a little exploring, and a couple of things came up that I saw that were kind of intriguing to me. The first is the lineup of Street Fighter NFTs. Um, I think that the Street Fighter, obviously, uh, is a very cool thing. It's very legacy, and from my childhood. Um, this is a project that's being done by Capcom. So these are licensed NFTs. These are not something that somebody threw together, which gives them the potential to actually be worth something at some point in time. You can pick these NFTs up fairly cheap. They are at this point in time still just a couple of dollars. Um, it's a pain in the ass to kind of get to a point where you can purchase them because you have to buy you'd have to transfer some fiat currency into Coinbase. You'd have to and buy Algorand with it. You'd have to transfer the Algorand over to Kucoin, where you would sell the Algorand and buy a currency called Wax. Wax is still fairly inexpensive to send, which is the good thing. But then you have to take the Wax and send it over to a Wax wallet, a Wax branded wallet, From there, you can spend it on the marketplaces that have these NFTs. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to obtain them, but once you can get there, they're not. They're very affordable. Another thing that the NFT case use fits perfectly for is baseball cards. So Topps has started to release all of their baseball cards in an NFT lineup, and these cards are classified in rarity, so you can get very common cards or very super rare cards. Let's just drop over to some place that a marketplace that sells these things. So we could kind of get a glimpse of the prices here. This card here, this Matt Chapman, is a. Let's check out the details on it here. Doesn't look like it's telling us the rarity of the card. Oh, the rarity is epic. There is 27 of 83 of these NFTs minted. So that's it, folks. You'd own number 27 of 83. This card is currently $200. But, like this card here is 31 cents. Also, this is a common card, though. This is something that there is looks like 2,700 of these. You can search by rarity over here. You can set prices, and you can just go to town on it. It kind of makes baseball cards fun again. I'm not gonna lie. And I used to love baseball cards when I was a kid. This is a excellent use case for NFTs. And once again, it's these things. They're not currency, but they hold the value of currency. It's no different than a Mona Lisa. That photo, the canvas that it's painted on, ain't worth shit. But the painting holds millions of dollars in value. And it's the same way with these NFTs. So, that brings us to our last project of the night that I want to talk about. The dynamite, the banger.
Mm-hmm.
There is a project out there that is claiming to be the next Playboy. They're called Taboo. Currently, the price is 1.7 cents. So these folks have managed to fly under the radar. They have this week signed Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan to their lineups. So the celebrities are there. The big names are there. Tomorrow morning, they release $1 million in NFTs and other collectibles. They've given us a preview on their Twitter. Some of these NFTs are very, very nice. This is very, very tasteful stuff. Let me see this one here. If this is what you can expect from their NFTs, I mean, that's very, very good stuff. I think that if that's what they're releasing, that's going to explode. I had a chance to obtain one of these NFTs early. I elected not to do so just because I don't like the risk of NFTs. And it wasn't, if this would have been $20, $25, even probably a $50 or $75 investment, I might have thrown the money at it, but they wanted more. It was like $150 of Ethereum that you might not ever get back. So I elected not to do that. Instead, I just jammed some money into this thing. So at this point, I jam money in like way down here, and my $60 investment is now $200 and something. Folks, this is going to be about the last stop that this train is making before it goes on a bull run. After they drop those NFTs tomorrow, and we see legit Playboy Playmates and celebrities in these NFTs, this coin is going to run. And as you can see, it's already running very, very hard right now. So this is the chance to get in. Like I said, it's kind of a pain in the ass because you have to buy fiat into Coinbase, into Algorand, and then you have to send the Algorand over to Hotbit, sell the Algorand, and buy this. If anybody has any questions, I guess I'll probably put a link to my Discord down below. Hit me up at the Discord, and I can help you folks get in. As we can see here, though, the sell orders are not going down, and people are buying these things at a higher and higher price. So let's go. But that is the last project that I want to talk about. Miss Whiskey, did you have anything else?
I think that's all.
Okay. Alrighty, folks. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully this was informative. I'd like to start doing this regularly. Hopefully I can get Miss Whiskey to guest with me on the regular. And, yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. We hope you had a good night.
Happy Halloween.
And, yeah, I think that's about all I got. Miss Whiskey, you want to give him a final goodbye?
This is not financial advice, and we'll see you next week.
We appreciate you guys. Later.